Let's dive right into it. Number 10. The gravity pull sensation. Ever stood at the edge of a tall building and suddenly felt like something was tugging you forward? Don't worry, you're not losing it. What's actually happening is that your brain is getting super confused. See, your eyes are screaming, "Whoa, that's a long way down." But your inner earth part that helps you stay balanced is calmly saying, "Relax, we're just standing here." That clash between what you see and what you feel throws your brain into a mini panic. It creates this strange, almost magnetic sensation of being pulled forward. Here's the wild part. This isn't rare. Scientists say around 80% of people feel it at some point, yet barely anyone ever talks about it. The sensation usually lasts just a few seconds, but in that moment, it can be surprisingly intense. Think of it as your brain sounding a false alarm, kind of like your body's emergency brake kicking in unnecessarily. And no, it's not real gravity doing anything weird. It's literally all in your head. Some people even feel it while wearing VR headsets looking off a virtual cliff. So if that odd forward pull ever hits you again, just know, it's your brain being cautious, maybe a little too cautious. Number 9. The deep, unreachable itch. Imagine feeling an itch so buried beneath your skin that no matter how hard you scratch, you just can't get to it. It's like there's a sneaky mosquito bite hiding under your muscles or an invisible tickle buried deep between your shoulder blades completely out of reach. These aren't just frustrating itches, they're your nerves pulling a fast one on you. Your nervous system works like a massive web of electrical wiring, and sometimes, those wires get their signals crossed. When that happens, your brain gets tricked into thinking something's itching somewhere deep inside, even when there's absolutely nothing there. This weird glitch is called a neuropathic itch, and it's essentially your nerves crying wolf. Some folks feel it deep in their backs, especially around the shoulder blades. They'll scratch and scratch until their skin is red and sore, but the itch doesn't budge, it just lingers there, taunting you. The worst part? Because they only work on your skin. It's like trying to fix a broken engine by washing your car. And just to make things more maddening, these phantom itches can move around. You scratch one spot, and boom, it jumps to another. Like some kind of sneaky neural ninja playing hide and seek with your fingers. Number 8. The fingertip buzz. Ever felt that strange electric tingle in your fingertips after scrolling on your phone for way too long, like a swarm of tiny electric ants dancing under your skin? That weird buzzy sensation actually has a scientific name: paresthesia. Picture your nerves as little garden hoses, carrying signals from your fingers to your brain. When you keep your hand in one position too long, like death gripping your phone while doom scrolling, you're basically crimping those hoses. Blood flow gets restricted, and instead of smooth signals, your nerves start firing off static. Then, the moment you finally shift or move your hand, bam, those compressed nerves wake up at once. That's when the buzzing begins. That compressed signal suddenly buzzes, creating... It's not just scrolling, either. Some folks get it from marathon gaming sessions, typing for hours, or even right before stepping on stage, like their fingers are throwing invisible jazz hands. Your body isn't trying to be subtle. Hey, maybe take a break. Instead of just telling you normally, it decides to create a little party within your reach. Thankfully, the buzz usually fades after a few minutes once your nerves stop freaking out. Number 7. Vision's brief blur. Ever been out walking? Everything's totally normal, then out of nowhere, your vision fuzzes out for a second, like someone took a finger and smudged the lens of reality. It's weird, it's fast, and then poof, it's gone. What just happened? Well, your brain, which is constantly juggling millions of visual inputs 24/7, might have just hit the reset button. Scientists have a few theories about this blink and you miss it moment. Sometimes your eyes get a little too dry, like a camera lens needing a quick clean. Other times, tiny blood vessels in your eyes might shift or constrict briefly, throwing off your focus like a sudden camera glitch. It's not dangerous, it's more like your brain doing a soft reboot on your visual system. Think of it like refreshing a browser tab when it's lagging. This tiny blur tends to happen when you've been staring at something too long, or when you whip your head around quickly. Most of the time, it lasts less than a second, shorter than a blink or a sneeze, and by the time you think, wait, did that just happen? It's already over. The best part? Your brain's so efficient at correcting these tiny hiccups, you barely register them. This mistake that most people forget it, Even happens after a few seconds, then it's like your profile picture automatically corrects the spelling mistake silently in your reality. Number 6. After. Image hangover. Ever stared at a bright light and then notice strange ghost-like shapes floating across your vision? That's not a glitch, it's your eyes' tiny workers, called photoreceptors, waving the white flag. When you look at something super bright, these little guys get overwhelmed like they've just run a marathon and they keep firing confused signals to your brain. It's kind of like pausing a video game, but the image lingers on the screen. And here's where it gets wild. The after images show up in opposite colors. Look at a bright red light, and you'll end up with a greenish phantom hovering in your sight. Stare at the yellow sun, and a bluish dot might follow your gaze like a clingy ghost. These optical echoes follow your eye movements exactly. The longer you stare at the bright object, the longer the ghost image sticks around. It's almost like your eyes are getting back at you for overworking them. You'll often notice this when stepping out of a dark movie theater into bright sunlight or after someone takes a photo with flash. The good news? These floating shapes usually vanish within a minute. So next time you spot dancing blobs after looking at your phone in a dark room, don't panic, your eyes aren't broken. They're just hosting a glow party in your brain, and everyone's invited. Number 5. Seeing stars flash. Ever bumped your head, sneezed way too hard, or rubbed your eyes and suddenly bam, tiny sparkly lights start dancing in your vision like a mini fireworks show? That's not magic, it's your retina reacting to a sudden jolt. Your retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of your eye, acts like a super-sensitive motion detector. When you hit your head, sneeze violently, or even rub your eyes too hard, it's like giving that detector a shake. Your retinal cells go into overdrive, firing off frantic messages to your brain screaming, "Light, light, light." But here's the twist, there's no actual light. Your brain is just getting confused by all those random signals. Scientists have a name for this strange phenomenon, phosphene, and you can actually trigger it on purpose. Just gently press on your closed eyelids. Those swirling, colorful patterns you see. Yep, same deal. It's your visual system lighting up without any real light involved. Astronauts even report seeing these flashes in space, not from head bumps, but from cosmic rays zipping through their eyeballs. Wild, right? While it's totally normal to see the occasional sparkle after a sneeze or bump, if you're seeing light shows regularly without any clear reason, it might be a good idea to get your eyes checked. Number 4. Tongue's ghost taste. Ever had your mouth suddenly taste like you've been licking pennies, even though you haven't eaten anything metallic or anything at all? That's your tongue sending taste signals to your brain when there's absolutely nothing there. Scientists call this dysgeusia, which is basically your taste buds going completely rogue. Think of it as your tongue's version of seeing things that aren't real. Sometimes the taste is metallic, sometimes it's bitter, and sometimes it's just plain bizarre. A few common triggers? Certain medications, acid reflux sneaking unwanted flavors back up, or even pine nuts, yep. They can leave a metallic taste that sticks around for weeks. It's like they threw a flavor party in your mouth and never cleaned up the mess. Other times, it's just your mouth's way of saying it needs a proper brushing. The bacteria in your mouth? Think of them as tiny chefs, whipping up all kinds of questionable taste experiments while you're not looking. For most folks, these ghostly flavors are temporary. They show up without warning, linger just long enough to be annoying, and disappear without saying goodbye. But if that metallic taste decides to stick around like a permanent roommate, it might be time to talk to a doctor. Number 3. Sudden olfactory flash. Ever been casually walking down the street when out of nowhere you catch a strong whiff of burning rubber or rotten eggs, but there's nothing around you that could possibly smell like that? You're not imagining it. This strange phenomenon is called a phantom smell, or phantosmia. It's more common than you might think. About 1 in 15 adults experience these ghost smells regularly. Interestingly, women tend to get them more often than men, and scientists suspect hormones might play a role. What's actually happening? Your brain is having a kind of smell hallucination processing, a scent that isn't there. Unfortunately, these phantom smells are rarely pleasant. It's not warm cookies or fresh flowers, nope. Your brain usually picks charming scents like burning hair, sewage, or chemical fumes. Sometimes it's triggered by a migraine, other times by sinus issues. And occasionally, your brain just decides to add a little chaos to your day with a random, awful odor. The good news? These strange smells typically vanish within a few seconds, so if your nose suddenly screams emergency and there's no real source, just know it's your brain playing sensory tricks. Number 2. Motionless sway. Ever stepped off a boat and felt like you're still rocking on the waves? That's your brain gaslighting you, insisting you're moving even though you're standing perfectly still. Deep inside your ears lives a tiny balance system, like your body's personal gyroscope. While you're on a boat, this system adapts to the constant swaying motion. But once you're back on solid ground, it keeps thinking the motion should still be happening. It's the same trick your legs play after stepping off a treadmill. They think they're still running. Some unlucky folks can feel this phantom movement for days, even weeks. Imagine trying to pour coffee while you're standing on a waterbed. Researchers discovered that this happens more often in women aged 30 to 60. And it's not just boats that mess with your system. Planes, trains, and even long car rides can leave you with that weird floating sensation. The strangest twist? Some people actually feel better once they're back on a moving boat because that's when their brain finally syncs back up. Scientists call this odd condition mal de débarquement, which is French for, I got off the boat but my brain didn't. Number 1. Hot, cold flip-flop. Ever touch something and your brain just completely glitches out about whether it's hot or cold? Your skin has 2 different types of temperature sensors. One type spots cold stuff really fast, like a caffeinated security guard. The other type detects heat, but it's more like a sleepy mall. It takes its sweet time. When you touch something that's very cold, your speedy cold sensors fire off signals so quickly that they actually confuse your brain. It's like your brain getting a text that says cold, but reading it upside down as hot. This mix-up only lasts for a split second before your brain figures out what's actually happening. But in that moment, you get this weird sensation where cold feels hotter, hot feels cold. This happens most often with metal objects because they conduct temperature really well. So next time you grab a cold can from the fridge and it feels weirdly warm for a moment, you're not imagining things. Your brain is just doing its best impression of opposite day. That's it for today. If you like the weird things our bodies do, subscribe for more amazing videos every time.